Hi everyone, it's me, Lubna. Today is Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. This video is dedicated to my beloved, and the topic of this video is going to be about living humbly. And this will be my last video of the year 2024, so I'll try to make it a special one. So in order to illustrate the topic of living humbly, today I wanted to share with you another passage from the book Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And I made a video related to a passage from Walden last week on Christmas Day, and I feel like this video is very closely related to the topic of that video, which was about the superiority of quality over quantity. So the passage that I wanted to share with you today from Walden comes from the conclusion. And as usual, before I read it aloud to you, I'd like to show the pages to you. So what I'll be reading aloud to you comes from those two pages. And I'll read the passage aloud to you now. Here it goes. However mean your life is, meet it and live it. Do not shun it and call it hard names. It is not so bad as you are. It looks poorest when you are richest. The fault finder will find faults, even in paradise. Love your life, poor as it is. You may perhaps have some pleasant, thrilling, glorious hours, even in a poor house. The setting sun is reflected from the windows of the almshouse as brightly as from the rich man's abode. The snow melts before its door as early in the spring. I do not see but a quiet mind may live as contentedly there, and have as cheering thoughts as in a palace. The town's poor seem to me often to live the most independent lives of any. Maybe they are simply great enough to receive without misgiving. Most think that they are above being supported by the town, but it oftener happens that they are not above supporting themselves by dishonest means, which should be more disreputable. Cultivate poverty like a garden herb, like sage. Do not trouble yourself much to get new things, whether clothes or friends. Turn the old, return to them. Things do not change, we change. Sell your clothes and keep your thoughts. God will see that you do not want society. If I were confined to a corner of a garret all my days like a spider, the world would be just as large to me while I had my thoughts about me. The philosopher said, from an army of 3 divisions one can take away its general and put it in disorder. From the man, the most abject and vulgar one cannot take away his thought. Do not seek so anxiously to be developed, to subject yourself to many influences to be played on. It is all dissipation. Humility, like darkness, reveals the heavenly lights. The shadows of poverty and meanness gather around us, and lo, creation widens to our view. We are often reminded that if there were bestowed on us the wealth of Croesus, our aims must still be the same, and our means essentially the same. Moreover, if you are restricted in your range by poverty, if you cannot buy books and newspapers, for instance, you are but confined to the most significant and vital experiences. You are compelled to deal with the material which yields the most sugar and the most starch. It is life near the bone where it is sweetest. You are defended from being a trifler. No man loses ever on a lower level by magnanimity on a higher. Superfluous wealth can buy superfluities only. Money is not required to buy one necessary of the soul. So that is the passage that I wanted to share with you today from the conclusion of Walden. And the reason that I wanted to share that passage with you today is because I wanted to inspire you with a new mindset for the upcoming year, about the importance of living humbly and directing more of your attention inward as opposed to outward. And based on the message of Walden as a whole, there is great value in simplicity on the external plane. When a person has fewer possessions and tries to live below his or her means and tries to simplify his or her environment, including the number of people that he or she is associated with, as well as his or her possessions, the number of things that he or she has to do, then one is much better able to direct his or her attention inward and focus on spiritual things, on intangible things. And I feel that simplicity is very closely related to humility. Often people who are humble are very simple on the outside because they realize that all of the things around them and outside of them matter much less than what is going on inside of them. They humble themselves in the face of God. They make themselves poor in spirit so that they can be filled with God's love and the things that are not tangible, but that are much more valuable and worth putting our attention and efforts into. And so the entire message of Walden is living a simple life and transcending mundane and worldly things. And I know that this is very difficult to do in today's world where we are surrounded by stimuli all around us, whether in terms of people or things to do, places to go, and things to buy. Especially in America, materialism is very common, and there is such a focus on the power of purchasing things and the power that possessions give us and money gives us. But what is the most valuable thing in life is what is on the inside, and we have to humble ourselves in order to realize that. We have to humble ourselves in order to realize that all of the things that we gather outside of us are not going to add to our value. What is going to add to our value as an individual, as a spirit, is working on what is inside of us. And the more we simplify what is outside of us, we are better able to direct our attention to what is inside of us. And personally, in my life, I try to live humbly and to live simply by having fewer friends and having fewer obligations and having fewer possessions as well. I come from a privileged background. I have a parent who is a doctor, and I am very privileged in that sense, but I try not to live in a privileged way. I still try to live humbly because I understand the value of living humbly and living simply and of living below one's means. And for example, today is New Year's Eve, and I have chosen to spend this day on my own, studying, reading, and making this YouTube video. I'm not going to go anywhere or spend my time in a crowded place, although people who do that have the right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But personally, I really enjoy peace and quiet and solitude and being able to hear my own thoughts and develop myself on the inside, even on a holiday like this. I did the same thing on Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day. I made videos on those days as well. And I just have a strong desire to develop my inner self. And I've made this the mission of my life. And I'm hoping that by sharing this mission with you through my videos and by sharing my journey with you through my videos, I can also influence you to do the same and to strive to live simply and to live humbly on the outside so that you could develop yourself in greater depth on the inside and become a person of great depth and spiritual understanding. That is my goal. So I hope that you have learned something very valuable from my video today about living humbly and living simply, and about how humility brings a person closer to God. And I think I'll title this video, Humility Reveals the Heavenly Lights, or something like that, based on one of the lines from the passage I just read to you. So that is my message for today. I really hope that you liked it and took something away from it. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to listen to and or watch my video today. And with that, I'd like to wish you, first of all, a happy New Year's Eve and a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world.